ride with the mob, Alhamdulillah, check in with me, and do your job. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
Go ahead, guys. That's Plain Jane by A$AP Ferg. I got abs. Come on, man. Mike Perry.
You got the personality for WWE, man.
I was going to say, you need to come and be in the booth with Mike Perry at Dirty Boxing Championship. We got Yoel Romero fighting. We got Andre Arlovsky on the card. We got Mike Breeden on the card. A lot of young up-and-comers. We got to get you there.
I never seen anything like Merab as far as with the sparring. And as far as the wrestling goes, there's times where there was one kid that they'd wrestle, just straight wrestling, and the kid would be better than him. And then Milongo's like, yeah, watch when they spar. Dude, Merab was getting him down like crazy.
I just saw the video last night. Some fan, dude, comes up with a picture of Merab.
Dude, that hurt my feelings. Merab looked genuinely confused because he's such a nice guy. He's like, why this picture? Like, he was asking him, like, why? He didn't realize he was getting goofed on, and that makes me more mad than anything. God forbid if I was there. I'm delivering pizzas. I had a girlfriend at the time. I called up her best friend's house. It's her best friend's older brother who I had the incident with. This guy, Mike. Chewshead, never liked the guy. I'd see the guy at the friend's house or a party or something. Hey, Mike. You know, he's one of those guys, he'd look at you, look and start talking to the other guy. I knew sooner or later I'd probably have it in with this guy. And I got to an argument with this guy on the phone. We're locking up the place. 2 to 3 cars pull up. The guy shows up with a bunch of guys, me and my pizzeria boss. I didn't really have anybody with me.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Overdogs podcast. Got the boys, Mac Malley and Ice Bags. Platinum in the house. You know what time it is. We got to recap the weekend. UFC 313. There were some good fights to talk about on there. I mean, the main two, co-main and main event. Justin Gaethje versus Fiziev. I thought it was fun. Josh went to power slap, and then he was filming people sleeping at the UFC audience. I thought the Gaethje fight was exciting enough to keep him awake.
It was right in the middle of the Gaethje fight as well. I don't know if it's considered sleeping or just straight up passing out. He was some guy and his wife were walking up from like a couple rows lower, right? And the guy's like 3 feet away from me on the other side of the aisle, right? And this chick has her out, and they're huge, right? You can't miss them, and she's clearly showing them, but she's walking up the aisle, and the husband's behind her, and the guy leans over and says something to the chick as she's going by. So then, of course, the husband looks at him and says something, and he's like, oh, he's like, I'm trying to keep my eyes closed, but they're so big I can't miss them or whatever. And so I'm like, Jesus, like, we're gonna have a fight here, and we've already got 3 fights in the crowd by this time, by the Gaethje fight. 3 in the crowd, 1 where people were fighting the police, okay? And then it was no more than 2 minutes later, I look over, completely passed out. He missed. I think he woke up in like the 3rd or 4th round. 3rd round, I guess, last round.
Of the main event?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That main event was a little stalemate there. Could have went either way. Pereira stopped 11 takedowns. Brennan Schaub says he won the first. The third was a toss-up. He'll argue with you on the third. And the 5th, I would say Pereira won the 5th. Tough call. I feel like, you got to take it from the champ, but they gave it to the wrestler, the Dagestani wrestler. I mean, they get their way. And I think he kind of outpointed, I guess. What are your thoughts?
I do tend to agree that you should decisively beat the champ. I've always been a fan of that, right? If you're going to take the belt, what was it, Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Woo!
Woo! But here's the thing is I felt like Alex was walking back the entire time, and Ankalaev was just pressuring him.
That
Alex
was
really
weird,
couldn't do
right?
much. It was weird, wasn't it? And of course, this is my wife's first UFC event, right? And of course, we had the wheel kick knockout. I'm like, you're never going to see that again. She's like, that was cool. And I'm like, yeah, you're never going to see that again. Very likely. And then we had the Gaethje fight, which was good. And then she's like, this is boring, right? And I'm trying to explain to her, like, this is not Alex. This is not Alex. Like, the guy's like a natural born killer, walks people down. But Ankalaev was doing it right back to him, dude. He was on his heels all night. I don't know what was up. I know he was sick. if you don't know that, Curtis Blades pulled out with the norovirus. I heard that Alex also had the norovirus. And it's a pretty nasty flu from what I've heard.
I think that it was part of his game plan to help him stuff any takedown attempts, was to more fight on the back foot. And it was working, but then I heard Glover Teixeira yelling at him, asking him, some rounds he was like, hey, do more of what you do. Like, don't worry about the takedown. You're stopping him. Just go in and throw the punches. You got to let the punches go. He wasn't letting his hands go. But, it's so weird. Like, I tweeted that night because it's like, you expect a great fall from someone who's had such a rise. And especially in combat sports, like, that happens. And there was, at no point was there going to be that fall. Pereira made sure that it was a close fight when we all thought he could have done more. It was very weird, but, I'd give him the rematch, immediate.
I think you do the rematch, and I'm with Bags. Like, I'm totally cool with I do like the idea of take it from the champion, but that's not always how it plays out. I'm totally cool with Magomed getting the decision. Some people are arguing, well, dude, he stuffed like 12 takedowns. Okay, but he didn't do anything with it. Like, he didn't do anything with it either. And like Bag said, the most important part, that's still then pressure.
He kind of did,
pressure.
though. Like, right at the ends of the rounds, like, Magomed was putting the pressure, so that gives him control time in the cage, in the octagon. But then, like, Pereira hits him with a foot sweep. Boom! Throws him on his right before the round ends.
I think it's just so many.
Oh,
it's
even
just so
after.
many.
And he did it 2 or 3 times. He did it to him.
Yeah. I'll say this. With about halfway through the 5th round, I grabbed my wife and I was like, hey, let's just roll up here and watch it from the top.
Watch the rest from
so
top.
We can get out. You know what I mean? Because I had Ankalaev up 2 rounds personally. I thought it was decisive enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as the fight ended, we were like down the elevator, out in the cars. So we didn't have to wait an hour to get out of T-Mobile. But yeah, like I do agree with that decision, Mac. I'm with you there. Like, I do think he deserved the belt. But I also think it was just a totally off night for Alex. Rumors of his hand still being broken, obviously having the flu. I heard it was a really tough weight cut as well for him. You factor in all that, you got to have the rematch. I think, God, let me bet money on Alex on a rematch being completely healthy. I'm happy with that.
Well, and like Mike said, like you said, you said he didn't like have some. Sorry guys, I've been sick for a couple of weeks. But you said he didn't have some huge fall, right? Like, he's not the face of the UFC, and he went face first down, knocked out. He not, kind of like Magomed, he coasted his way out without taking a lot of damage, so he can fight another day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, we'll just. I think a rematch is perfect because Magomed didn't put his stamp on, And as much as we like Yuri having him on the show, he, that's what he wants now. He wants to go after the title. You have to do a rematch. You just got to do the rematch. There was nothing definitive about it, but I think I'm with Bag's definitive decision. I knew that was going Magomed. Forward pressure. Talking
about what Bags said about being at sporting events and then going, oh, there's a few laps left, or there's 5-10 minutes left. Let's start to make our way towards the exit. We can already see where this is going. There needs to be something after the main event, like I don't know, you could have medieval sword fight, or a lady balancing on a tire with 10 bowls in each hand, flipping the bowls, or just something that people can do. And what I'm getting at is Dirty Boxing coming March 22nd. I've been talking about it all day, and we've been hyping it up. I mean, the hype's going to speak for itself when we're in the building at the show. I heard you guys were building everything from the inside out when it comes to the venue, and it's almost like you started from scratch to make this place the most, bright thing for all our endorsers involved in dirty boxing.
Yeah. So that's why that's why the Kawas asked me to fly out to Vegas this weekend. Was not really UFC. They wanted me to go see Power Slap, right? Because they were like, this is kind of the environment that we're creating, right? Where it's a party, it's a place to be seen at, it's a place to network, but you've also got a cool event going on. I'm not a Power Slap fan, but the environment was cool. You had a lot of big names there. Theo Vaughn partying in there. Bert Kreischer, the comedian. You had the Tate brothers there. You had a ton of, I don't know who any of these younger influencers are, but like everywhere you turn, there's some like 22-year-old pimply faced kid with a camera, following him around. So it becomes like a place to be seen, and therefore, it attracts a new crowd. And so I think Dana did a really phenomenal job with that, and just the overall setup of Power Slap. Like it's very cool. It's very well done, and the production level is very high for what it is. And I'll say this, like, as much as I don't like it, the GA side was probably 1,000 people in bleachers, and those people were going nuts every slap, bro. Nuts.
I've never watched a Power Slap. I think we're all on the same page. I mean, I've seen the clips or whatever. That was their debut on YouTube, and there was nothing else on. Football's over, waiting for baseball to start. I was like, it, man, this could be some background noise. The pacing, I don't really like that they treat everything like a fight. They're announcing them, they're doing the whole thing. Like, just walk them out and let them do their thing. I thought every match was going to be like pretty much whoever slaps first is always going to win. Dude, that is digestible content. It's entertaining. Like there was actually that one where you kept thinking that dude was going to go the down, the tall, skinny dude, and he was making it, and I didn't, so it's actually entertaining. I have to admit, it wasn't bad. I didn't change it, dude, but I'm not saying I'd go see it, but I was surprised to see how many people had Max Crosby there. It looked like a fun place to be.
It was cool. The event was cool. I'm just not a fan of the sport. But I mean, look, if people are watching it, people are watching it. You know what I mean? And when I watched the GA section, my wife told me, because she was like, this is no good. But then she's like, but look at the GA section, right? Like these people are going ape after every slap. So there's an audience for it, whether we like it or not. And obviously Dana can turn anything into gold. But I think the strategy there is clearly like, bring in the big name influencers, right? And have them talk about it, put them on camera, and it just gets a wider audience more involved in the sport. But the pacing, you're correct. It's very slow for a combat sporting event. You know what I mean? Because you've got
it's slotted just like the fights, 30 minutes.
Slap, and then it's time, and then you slap, and then it's time, and then they make a whole spectacle about bringing them out. Like, you don't need a 3.5 hour Power Slap event. Like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Speaking of, influence and big names, we have we have a few on Dirty Boxing's main card, and the co-main event has just signed up for Andre Arlovsky fighting in the co-main event at Dirty Boxing.
Let's go.
How big is that? Let's go, dude. Something about running a promotion. Everyone and their mama jumps in the last week. So, like, I expect as much as we can have ticketed and sold prior to the week of, that week of is going to blow up so much more. Everybody comes out of the woodworks and jumps in and wants their spot, gets their seats, buys their tickets, and it's going to be a wild time.
What's capacity?
Capacity, I think we've set it up for about 1,050, but it's a big venue. What you got to understand is we had the first Dirty Boxing event was about 9,000 square feet, the space, right? And we had in and out of the door at some point 1,000 people. Okay. Mm-hmm. We had planned for like 300, 1,000 came in and out. I would say probably at one time, maybe 700, there total. This is set up very nicely and very comfortably for 1,000. So we've got the difference with Dirty Boxing is we've got like bottle service, tables, so you can buy a table, have the, we got the hot chicks from, Miami coming in. They're going to be serving the bottles. We've got the food setups. We've got a VIP lounge. We've got some stuff for people to do, when fights aren't going on. We got a DJ in there, smoke show chick that DJ'd last time. Can't remember her name, but I'll find it out, this time. But she crushed it, on the tables in between fights. It's just a fun event. And this time it's 20,000 square feet versus like 8 or 9. So it's a big space. It's very open. I think the production team is going to do a killer job in there. From everything that I've seen, it'll look really good, but it'll be comfortable. So you're not jammed in there, like you are at most sporting events. You've got room to move around. And it's a party scene. You know what I mean? Like you're putting on a really cool fight. But at the same time, it's a good spot for somebody to go and spend, 4 or 5 hours, and not get bored. Even if you're not a fight fan, that's the biggest thing.
There's all different types of fight fans at shows. I'm sure you saw that at UFC. There's lots of people who don't watch the fights and they're there for, the celeb status or, which we will have at Dirty Boxing. There will be lots of celeb status and status quo. And, then there's fun, there's food, there's drinks, there's good vibes. I'm looking forward to the whole thing. I'm going to have one of the best seats in the house sitting ringside, commentating on some of these. And I hit up a couple athletes about being my partner on the commentating. So looking to make some moves with that and get somebody who will make some noise.
I said this from day one when Dirty Boxing was just a concept. I was like, we need Mike in the booth. We need Mike in the booth. Like, I would tune in just to watch Mike commentate a fight. You know what I mean? And you partner him with the right people, and it's going to be a spectacular show. It's going to be great.
Let's go viral. So, speaking of viral, we got other news on the run to show. Interesting here. I was seeing this. I was like, what is BJ on again? Like, what is happening right now? Something is going on with BJ and his mother.
It's been getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and this looks like breaking point.
Like you would expect. I don't want to learn too much about CTE.
Mm-hmm.
It's I thought it would happen like shortly after a concussive blow, but he's pretty much saying, I guess, his mother isn't his mother, and she's been replaced by either an alien or just some woman claiming to be his mother with her name and trying to get some stuff that BJ or his mother owns. So, yeah, here's really thrown off by this and wish better for BJ and hope that he gets this figured out and that he's doing all right over there in Hawaii. I mean, you get to live in Hawaii. I guess you got nothing more fun to do than to just go a little cuckoo. And no offense, BJ, that's... Look,
man, if my wife ever leaves me and she's trying to get that 50%, I'm going to tell the court she's a clone. That's not my wife. She is absolutely a clone, and she doesn't deserve $1.
What is going on?
He was just running for governor a year or two ago too.
That's funny, Josh. We could throw that in. Someone who wasn't married tried to sue Adesanya for being in a relationship with him for a year. And she ends up having to pay $500,000 because Adesanya's got everything in his mother's name.
Good.
Smart.
That is.
You see
good.
Pereira's ex all saying no Sharma Karma or something, and then it turns out she was married the whole time she was dating. What is it with these women, bro? 2 L's back to back.
Look, man, I got lucky. I've got an amazing wife. We've been together for like 18 years at this point, 3 kids. But I'm telling you, man, a lot of these women are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't have it any other way. Let's go, Matt. Matt Serra in the building.
You have to forgive me, man. I did what you did for a long time, bro.
What did I do?
You used to fight in a cage, didn't
Oh,
you?
I still
I used
do.
to get hit for a living. So I have trouble with the tech issues.
Hey, I don't care if it's the ring, the cage, a fight's a fight. I'm getting in there,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's all the same
Are
to
we,
me.
are we going? Are we in?
We're in. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good, man. You look good, Mike. You make me feel bad for being bald the way you look.
No,
Yeah, you good, dog? You good?
I'm an aging warrior.
you good, bro. The bald people is really smart nowadays, man. They really.
It's all fun and games, and when I get flattered around the UFC if somebody asks for a picture, and then they thought it's Joe Rogan or Dana White or some.
Yeah. So what's Joe Rogan's dream?
Yeah. I seen that. That girl. I wonder if she's still working after that.
Right, she's in trouble. I haven't seen nothing else from her. But wait,
Dude,
going viral is going viral, right?
man, I'm all for it. I wish somebody really thought I was Joe Rogan. An interviewer, that is. That'd be funny.
We were just talking. I want to get your thoughts, man, on let's talk about CTE a little bit. You guys were just talking about getting punched in the face a lot.
Yeah.
BJ Penn's recent comments. What the is going on there, bro?
You know, I've been hearing, I had BJ on my podcast like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
And, oh, no, just recently, man.
Wow.
Real recent. Like less than a month ago, for sure. Maybe a month ago. Time flies. But, man, I fought BJ when I was 28, right? I'm 50 now. I love BJ, man. When you see him, he's smiling. And I had on my podcast, we reminisced for like an hour of it was the old BJ, you know? No, but the thing is this, I made sure not to talk about politics or anything remotely close to politics, you know? So I got the old BJ with that interview. I don't even call it an interview, Mike. It's like this, you know?
Yeah.
And I had a really good time reminiscing with him. But I did see that. I seen that today, and I heard other things, and you know, it's very upsetting. I hope he's all right. You know, it's just very upsetting because right now, Mike, you're in the midst of it now. It's almost like you seeing MVP all up later. Well, that's the wrong guy. He's never getting hit. That guy, unless he's fighting you bare knuckle. That guy's hard there. But let's say you know, one of your guys that you went to war with that you're cool with. You got to see, man. A lot of guys don't make it through the other side. All right, I just did something for Vice TV. It's coming out on Wednesday tomorrow night about War Machine.
Oh,
Dude, there's so many guys. Phil Baroni grew up around my neighborhood. Was always a whack job. That guy's in a Mexican prison. It's sad to see how some guys end up. You know.
Yeah, I was seeing Jalen Turner, the tarantula, recently, you know, retiring. He's a young guy. And I was watching his post-fight interview, and they were asking him about it, and he was getting all broken up about it. And it was sad to see, you know, because there's still a lot of gas left in the tank for a guy like that, and it's just not going the way he wants to see it. Sometimes you just got to step away, enjoy that family time.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, you got to make certain choices in life where it affects your future. And I think one of the things that both me and from what I see with you is going to be your savior is your family. Because you can go, it keeps you from being a total lunatic. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because you got your kids and your wife and they got your back and the world's a bunch of and who's you over. And then if you don't get married, you go that other route. Oh, man.
Yeah, having a
All these
wife, she's
slimy
like,
bitches.
you got to eat healthy. She's like, you got to
Yeah.
go to bed on time. We got to get up in the morning and get the kids to school. It's, you
They
know,
take care of you. Yeah.
can't be drinking all the time.
That's it, you know? it's worth it to deal with a little period attitude once in a blue moon. You know what I mean? They're out. But listen, we're married, guys. Huh, guys? Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt, one time I spoke with you. I was on your podcast and you
Oh,
interviewed
yeah,
me.
unfiltered. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to get this off of my chest so I could come clean and have a clean
Okay.
slate. My wife told me not to. She said, "Leave it alone."
No.
Let it
It's
out.
always better. It's always better to address it.
I'm feeling that way. I'm like, I gotta get it out.
What happened?
So when you asked me about when my knuckles and my face were all bloodied up, and I scared the UFC because I had a fight that week, so then I posted a video and I'm all bloody, but it happened months ago, and I saved the video and then I posted the video right before I fought, and they were making sure that I wasn't in that condition before I fought, and I told you a little bit of truth of like a couple of stories. And then
Okay.
I kind of lied and I said, so like I really had this altercation at a club where a couple of guys, were in the bathroom and I said something about them watching me pee and they got mad and they tried to like fight me on the way out the door. But the fight got broke up. And then so I told a little fib there. But what really happened was when I was in that situation, I beat the out of a door. That's what I did.
All right. So you were in that situation. You made a joke with you. Did it jovial or did it like mean spirited? Like, hey, you're looking at my or hey guys, what are you enjoying the show? That type of thing. What'd you say? I got it. You got to break it down because there's two different.
I had told you on Unfiltered that when I was standing there peeing, I was like looking back or something. I was laughing at these guys. I was like, how much they pay y'all to stand in here and watch me pee or something?
Oh, okay. That's funny. That's funny.
That's funny. That's chill.
Sometimes are they bounces?
Yeah, they got mad. So then when you walk out the bathroom, it was like a small hallway, and they tried to collapse me in, and like I got stuck between them, and I just covered up. I didn't throw the first hit or whatever, but then my buddy came in and he broke it up. But I told you that happened, and then that we fought, and I had headbutted the wall or something.
Yeah.
And
so right now you're just coming clean that you really just did that from the door?
Yeah, I up a door.
Hey, well listen, man. It's almost better that way. Because if you would have them up and then next thing you know, you're in big trouble. I find it's hard to be in public. I don't like rude people, man. I think we're very much alike. And I'll tell you right now, and I don't know if there's a gag order on it, you can't talk about it. I've seen a scene when you were with your wife somewhere in a restaurant, you're walking out and you're saying the guy touched you. You know what I'm talking about. And then there was this big fat guy. And the big fat guy wants to come out and be a hero. And then you started saying something. He started mimicking you like, dude, I wanted to hit that fat for you. Shut up. Who are you? Hero. A hero. I don't know what you got for that, but I'll tell you right now, it was probably well worth it. Like there's times I walk away when I'm like, I'm being the bigger man right now. Like I feel like this, and then I'm like, I haven't scratched it, an itch that can't get scratched now because I didn't smack that guy. I don't tell the kids. I don't teach this to my kids class. I'm just saying, maybe it's me. I don't like rude people, man, and it's something I don't. It's very scary, Mike, because you don't outgrow it. Like
That's what I'm wondering as you're talking about it. I'm like, so do you still go to the gym and get on the mats?
Oh yeah, I'm on my school every day, but my school's my
spar?
school. I haven't roll. I roll, but spar as far as punching, taking hits. That's where we're different, man. I did not spar one day after I hung up my gloves.
Oh.
Not sparring. Don't get me wrong. I'll do some mitt work and to stay sharp, to keep the blade sharp. Man, I wasn't as gifted as you, Stan. And don't get me wrong. I had some power in my hands. And
hey, says the guy who clocked GSP with the OT, man.
But no. I could throw, but my thing is, it's pleasure for me when I have a fight coming up because I'm gonna be doing this. But man, with my dude, I'm 5'6". I'm always triple jabbing my way into these starting on. So it's not like I can keep a guy at range with my footwork and have a nice fun day of sparring. When I spar, it's a fight every time. And after a while, it wasn't as it's enjoyable when I'm gonna fight, but otherwise, I stay dangerous. Like I'm 50, I can still tap the 20-year-olds. I'll still Kimura the people. I got abs. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Mike Perry.
The jiu-jitsu is good. I know the jiu-jitsu is good.
I like to stay dangerous, so I start the morning. You got to keep yourself when you get done from the business that you're in. It's so good you're doing this now, and you're very good at this because you're a very genuine guy. It's fun. Isn't it fun?
Yeah, but I have to clear my mind throughout the week. I got to get some rounds in, and then it releases pressure.
Hey, everybody's different. I can see you. You're gonna be that guy sparring until you're 80. I can see it.
Yeah.
But I like that with your jiu-jitsu. Like I can get my because I know every time they tap, the gentle art. All right, yeah, I got him to tap out. It sounds very soft, but dude, if you did not tap, you got no shoulder. If you didn't tap, you're going to sleep. So every day I'm playing a game of death chess. How many times a day, So I'm still staying dangerous, and I can't afford to take any more withdrawals out of this bank.
And
You know what I mean?
your neck grappling all the damn time.
My neck's 19 and a half inches, bro. that and my height, because they're always punching down at me, is the reason why I never really got up standing. You know what I mean? I'm hard to hit. Like I'm hard to, because it always bounces off the top of my forehead.
That's where you got to take a hit, man. That's where you're.
I'm gonna guess here, 5'6" with a 19.5-inch neck is all custom shirts, right? But you ain't buying a damn a dress shirt off the rack.
Oh no, yeah, no. I got my daughter's like sweet 16, even like a weddings. I wear the open tie now. I'm not doing that because I had to get the neck extension or whatever. The button thing, dude. I'm not a suit guy. I'm not
turning into one, man.
What do you think about Mike's glow up here? Right, he went from the bad boy, out of control, and now look at him. He's suited and booted on the damn podcast. He's running his own fight promotion. What do you think about that?
Hey, I think that there was a time where people thought that Mike Perry might end up being a casualty of the game, But when I look at you now, man, I see you with your family. I see you with the podcast, and you're probably like me in a sense where I got a new podcast too. I'm going to have you on that too. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes,
but
sir.
I got my own thing. I got my thing with Jimmy. I like to show up and have a good time. I know these are the guys that handle all the tech. You know what I mean? Right, Mike?
You can put me on the spot right now, man.
No, man. We're the talent, man. No, it's okay. It's okay to accept it. You know what I mean? Not a lot of fighters are going to be able to do what you're doing right now with the podcast. So my point is, I'm done fighting. So my life, you have to have. It gets weird when you're done fighting, like 6 months after, because you're not getting a phone call. In the last 15 to 20 years, you're expecting something after 6 months. So what the do you do? That's when guys get in trouble, whether they're drinking or doing stupid to try to get that feel. So I got my routine, man. I got my jiu-jitsu school, and I'm there 6 days a week, and I start the day off sweating, man. I get there, I get my head straight at 6 a.m. I get my steam going with some. I'm so short I could do like some incline push-ups in that steam shower, and then I go out and I make good people dangerous. You know what I mean? Do my podcast. I keep busy with.
Yeah, you got some good. I mean, Merab and Aljo were with you. Are they still with you? Same part of town?
They were with me last week when I visited Vegas. They're living in Vegas now.
Oh, okay.
I was just out there to do something for the Tough reunion, the 20-year Tough reunion.
You did years of work with those two, though.
Oh, yeah, they're my guys.
Yeah.
We brought them up. Myself and Ray Longo, we brought those guys up, and they're 2 world champions. And I love those guys. And it's just, I don't corner them no more, where I'm very particular on who I corner with. Like, I got to be with Longo and one of my guys. No offense to anybody else, whether it's Eric Nixick or John Wood. Very good trainers. They didn't go out, like, soliciting fighters. The pandemic hit. Our guys most guys moved to Vegas, Those guys did for sure. And so it ended up being, like, I'm back in their corner because I know them, they're my fighter, but they're training elsewhere. So it got a little weird where
Right.
all of a sudden we're inviting other guys in the corner, and I'll get along with everybody. I'll have a beer with them, I'll with them, but I'm not going in the foxhole with nothing but my people.
Right. The
You know what I
ones you're
mean?
with on a daily basis. You
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So I love those guys. Merab, every time he asked me the last 2 times to be in the corner, and you know, he knows why I can't, but he knows I love him. You know, I just had lunch with him last week.
everybody
I love him.
loves Merab.
How could you not love? How could you not love Merab? I just pulled something off my nose. I had a no, not in my nose, but I
Yeah.
had a look at it, it's probably bleeding now.
Oh
This is
man,
what
dude,
I had something from.
you got the personality for WWE, man.
He
You
was
totally
at one last night.
you
That's so
were.
funny. I
Hang
was.
on, hang
I
Yeah.
on,
was.
hang on. You know, this is what we need. Matt Serra, what are you doing March 22nd?
Yeah.
March 22nd. Oh, I'm at my daughter's grappling match.
Well, that's
My
not
youngest.
that's not going to work. I was going to say you need to come and be in the booth with Mike Perry at Dirty Boxing Championship. We got Yoel Romero fighting. We got Andre Arlovsky on the card. We got Mike Breeden on the card. A lot of young up and comers. We got to get you there.
Dude, when is the next one? Mike's a dad. He
We
knows
will
the
figure
deal.
that out. But I'm telling you, you two in the booth together would be hilarious.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it in a heartbeat. But I can't do the 22nd only because my daughter's grappling match. You know how that
You
is,
saw what
man.
Andrew Schultz says about missing one volleyball game?
What'd he say? What'd he say? Something funny?
Yeah, he said it's on his new special. He said, I missed one volleyball game. She starts. It's everything's daddy's fault. And he's like, it's not. It's like,
Hey,
that's
man,
not even on my side of the family. That's the mother's side of the family.
that is funny. I got 3 daughters, man, so
I got
I'm not even
one.
joking.
I got
I'm
one
with you.
now, and it's really amazing. I love having a daughter.
I you not. We were about to get on the plane to go to Power Slap and UFC this weekend, right?
Yeah.
It's like 7 a.m. in the morning, and my daughter is playing in Tallahassee, which is about 2 hours away, in a flag football tournament. And I looked at my wife. I'm driving to the airport, and I was like, "You want to just skip the weekend and go to Tallahassee, like and watch them play flag football?" Went to a game last night, got another game tonight. You just don't want to miss that. Like when you get to our age, you know, and the kids are getting old. How old are your girls?
I'm having my daughter's sweet 16 this weekend, which is crazy. I got 14 next month and 11.
Yeah, so
So
I've got a six. My girl turned 16 on March 20th, and then I've got 14, and then I've got a 10-year-old son. Yeah, so
oh, dude, we got around the same age.
right around the same
Hey,
age.
listen, with the daughters, that's what God does to make the world even to us guys that used to be cocksmen.
100%.
That.
100%.
But hey, listen, hey, Mike, keep it clean. Listen, no, man, listen, we got to do the right thing. So
I
but
got
it
a
is
long way
fucking
to
funny.
go.
It's funny, man. It is funny. I was just, I told you about people being. I was just in Starbucks the other day, and this shows you how like you mature as an adult, right? So I'm sitting there. I'm getting my car done at Midas, and I walked over to the Starbucks. I got like an hour to kill, so I'm in there. I'm on my phone doing an espresso. Go use the bathroom. So I hear there was some kids in there, like girls around my daughter's age, right? Around 14, 15. So they're looking to use the lock, and I'm like, oh, occupied. Then I go to get out. I go, I'm a father now, Here you go, girl. Here you go, gang. Thanks, gang. Ooh, little snotty little kid, right? So I'm like, all right. I go to get my stuff on. I'm zipping up my jacket, and these little made a point to get out of the bathroom and like, bye, gang. So I go, oh, bye, gang, and I leave. Meanwhile, in my mind, Mike, these are little snotty little mean girls. I'm an adult. I could be a psychopath. Why are you provoking adult? I feel like saying, hey, little missy, get your father down here. Get your father down here. I will get his arm. I'll give you
And then the
PTSD.
father will show up and be like, oh my God, it's Matt
Do you know who
Serra.
that is? Yeah, you know who the fuck
Apologize
that
to
is?
him right now.
Dude, it's like you little I went home. I told my wife and kids, They wanted to go back up there. My girls are trained. Imagine the Serra girls going up there, Kimura and these. So my point is, as an adult, you gotta, I had to be like, okay, I gotta this one on the chin from these little Long Island spoiled little. When I was in high school, Mike, there was this girl, Vanessa, right? And she was dating some kid from Queens. We got into an argument. I'll get my boyfriend to come up here. Get him. Let me fast forward this, right? I'm coming back from lunch, and there's a van pulled over by cops. And there's kids up against the thing. They're taking weapons on the floor. I see bats. Oh, that's Vanessa's boyfriend. Okay. So I'm in the hallway. She's walking past me after that, smiling, like, you see what I can do to you? Okay. All right. You got me. I take the fire extinguisher off the wall, and I hose that. I go, tell them I did that. Tell them.
That's
So, Mike,
incredible.
I'm trying to say that now I'm a sane parent. So I'm not going to have that. It's not like I'm going to do that to these little kids. I'd be on Channel 12 News. So, you got to go with, you got to just, somehow you got to mature. And this is me mature.
Can I throw something in there? First of all, I'm Mac Malley. Matt, nice to meet you.
Man, nice to meet you, Mac.
Giant fan, dude. Followed your whole career. So I was doing some deep research trying to find something I don't really know about you. You have one of the best personalities of all UFC history,
Thanks, man.
I heard this, and it goes into what you're saying. So you started early with Wing Chun. You started wrestling in high school. Then you had that story happen. Now, I read you were going to go to the Marines, and you got in a street fight, and you bit someone's ear off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true story. Well, I mean, that changed the course of my life, man, because, again, Mike, how old are you, Mike?
33, dude.
Why are you hesitant to say that? You're a young man,
I'm
dude.
getting there,
Shit,
bro.
man. I wasn't knocking out tricks punk ass till 35. So listen, you're ahead of the game. You got years left of violence. But man, I'm 50. So when I was growing up, how old are you two guys?
I'm
Matt,
33.
I'm
you're
40.
a young man.
I'm 40. I'll be 43 next week.
Hey, you're still young too. But so the point is, when I was growing up, we didn't know what the real fighting was. Everybody had their opinions. You know what I mean? What would work in a street fight? When I was 17 years old, 1992, I was working as a pizza deliverer. Pizza Amore. I'm still friends with Nicky Casiello, great
Shout
guy.
out.
So anyway, I'm delivering pizzas. I had a girlfriend at the time. I called up her best friend's house. It's her best friend's older brother who I had the incident with. This guy, Mike. Juice head. Never liked the guy. I'd see the guy at the friend's house or a party or something. Hey, Mike, he's one of those guys. He'd look at you, look and start talking to the other guy. I knew sooner or later I'd probably have it in with this guy. Long Island. So, I called up looking for my girlfriend. I got into an argument with this guy on the phone. Next thing you know, just some. Next thing you know, my girlfriend shows up with that's the sister of him, the guy. Oh no, Mike's gonna come up here and he's got his friends and yada yada. I told her to get out of there, and we're locking up the place. 2 to 3 cars pull up. The guy shows up with a bunch of guys. Me and my pizzeria boss, and there was some girls around there, some people, but I didn't really have anybody with me, so they kept it even. Now I don't know if you know about Wing Chun, but they don't work. No,
Yeah.
listen, it's
The one thing, yeah.
I never did any wrestling, I had a wooden dummy in my garage and shit. I only did a season and a half of wrestling, 7th grade and a little bit of 8th grade. I had a problem with the coaches. I didn't like the jockey coaches. They remind me of Matt Hughes back in the day. I didn't get along with them. I was like a troubled kid, kind of. I used to fight a lot. So, anytime I get into a real fight, prior to this, it'd start with the Wing Chun, and then I go back to my 8th grade wrestling and I'd double leg them and stuff. So I started with a chain punch, and this meathead grabs me by around the neck, right? We're cheek to cheek like this. And I tell this to my students, and I let it be known. This is nothing to brag about, but if they want to try their jujitsu out, don't try it out in the street. I mean, it's there. I mean, for you for self-defense, but don't look to try to. Hey, let's see if this Americana works in. Let me pick a fight, because it is so easy to get an ear or a nose off, and it's just the way it is. It's just cartilage. You know what I mean? So I got him by the ear, and the ear came right off, and then they they pushed me off him, and then my pizzeria boss jumps in. Oh, it was an even fight. He gets his nose broken. The brother that was there picks up the ear. They get him off. I don't got a mark on me, but the guy had a broken nose and he had a because I was wailing on him and he had no ear, right? So the police came. My father was on the job. He was a cop in the city. I go, look, these guys came to me. This is self-defense. They took me to the hospital, and then they put cuffs on me, and they go, look, man, self-defense or not, the guy's got a broken nose and no ear, and you gotta, that's not the way shit works. So my parents were at a wedding. They had to leave a wedding, come get me. Oh, I had to spend the night in jail, then the next day get arraigned. So because of that incident, like I was saying before, we didn't know what really worked. There was no martial arts really to make a living out of. There was no ultimate fighting. There was no cage fighting, mixed martial arts. So I was planning when I graduated high school to go right into the Marines because all the tough guys prior to me, they either did military or jail. So I didn't want to be a loser. I go, look, I'll go Marines, I'll go recon. I was into it. I was watching movies. My parents signed the papers to do the delay entry program where I was jogging with them. I was jogging with them at Eisenhower Park on the weekend. And because of this incident, the first thing was it was a felony.
Yeah.
For disfigurement. So then what happened was I go to my recruiter, he was a good guy, short guy, a little guy from Georgia, down south. He goes, Mr. Serra, I remember it to this day. He goes, I'd be proud to be in a soul with you any day, but I have my superiors. I go, what the what do you mean, your superiors? He goes, no, you didn't let me in, 1992.
You got lucky.
I did get lucky, bro. I don't want to do that. I didn't want to. That wasn't my calling, So I'm like, what? So what do I do now? I can't get a government job. I know that. They said a youthful offender, but anytime somebody put my name, a cop buddy or anybody put my name in a computer, I wouldn't even tell them, and they'd come back and they go, dude, what the you Hannibal Lecter? What is that? I go, dude. I go, how does that pop up? I thought it was a youthful offender. Anyway, so I didn't really have a net, I didn't know what to do. And then I found jiu-jitsu in Black Belt magazine. There was before social media, there was in Connecticut, Danbury, Connecticut, or Waterbury, Connecticut, one of them. At a Jeet Kune Do, at a gymnasium they rented out. It was the Gracie, Horian Gracie and Hoyce. And it was 1992. And I went to that seminar, and acting changed my life. Because I'm like, before then, you're thinking martial arts, and it's even though it was cool, it's a lot of katas and a lot of forms that did not transition to the street, to fighting. And I knew that firsthand because I used to fight. And then I remember seeing a tape of these guys, the Gracies, and it was Gracie in action, 1 and 2. And I go, look, I was a proud guy where I could take a black eye or like I could take a busted nose and keep fighting type of thing. But if I got one of these little skinny Brazilians on me and you can't get them off, it's like you're at their mercy. I go, I have to learn this. So I fell in love with it there. And then shortly after there, Craig Kukuk, Henzo's American business partner, came over and taught in New Jersey. 1 day a week in Manhattan out of a judo club downtown in the Village. And then I started going there 1 day a week. He ended up doing 3 days a week. 2 years later, Henzo came over, took me under his wing, and thank God for that meathead, huh?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that's how it like directly led into that. That's cool, dude.
And if it didn't if that, what's up? Because I pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor, a Class A misdemeanor, so I had to avoid like jail time. Because if it would have went to trial, that's why I pleaded guilty in the first place. Because if it would have went to trial, even though I didn't have many things prior. I had like a riot charge or something with a fight thing, but I didn't have too much prior. They said, look, if this goes to jury and they see the guy without the ear, his mother crying, and yada, you could be 7 years upstate in your first offense. My mother was nervous, and I wanted to fight it, to be honest. And then I'm like, you know what? This. So then they got me civilly. They tried to get me civilly. That doesn't happen until like 6 years later. What's funny about this is exactly when that happened is when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield. It's like, oh, this is horrible timing. So everybody heard I'm going to court. They're like, oh, you did a Tyson? I go, well,
Well, he did a Serra.
technically he did a Serra, yes. No, I'm not the first guy to ever bite a ear, but you know, shit happens.
Damn.
So
That's
civilly though,
tough,
Mike,
man.
civilly, that guy got nothing, man. He didn't get anything.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
shocked.
I mean, he did come up to my work, you know, and I had that going for me. You know, he wasn't good on stand. I was great on stand, I feel.
Here's what I'll say. As a proud American, I want Matt Serra ripping ears off in the military. Instead, we get guys that can't even breathe during basic training. You know what I mean? That's our military now.
I was gung ho about it, man, because I really felt that was my only way of doing something with my life.
Hey,
And then
shout out
they
to
made
all the
fighting a
first
sport.
responders and the military vets. We appreciate y'all. The ones who have been through the hard camps and they've hit the battlefields and they've won some battles for America. We appreciate that, your service, sir. Thank you so much.
With your dad being a police officer, how did he take your career trajectory after that, or did he support it? Like, bro, yeah, you found an avenue for this.
My father became a black belt under Henzo Gracie, which is phenomenal. Yeah, my father was a beast. The north-south choke was the Papa Serra choke because he had a big chest. We used to get north-south and just strangle. My father had me young at 19, so he's young, you know.
Oh, okay.
And it's another reason to keep moving, man, because now at my age he was still training, and now he's got like Parkinson's. I seen the end of the line, and it ain't pretty. That's why I like to have a good time every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to keep
Amen.
moving. That's one thing I noticed because he was getting a little off the rails. My mother got him a little, you know, God rest her soul, but she got him a little on some Zoloft or something to slow him down because he was being a little nutty, which was kind of funny. My father's a funny man. So she slowed him down a little bit, but it ended up, you don't come to a halt. I saw my father come to a halt, and next thing you know, now the guy's up. So you got to keep moving is what I learned. That's why I start the day teaching people to rip arms off.
One more about moving around, looking for a fight. That show was hilarious, dude. And and you see the energy you're talking about you've always had on that show. You guys do some wild. Is that coming back? We
got one in the bag that didn't air yet. It's funny with that show. We've been doing that for over 10 years, I think. And anytime they just hit me up, yo, we're going here then. You good? I'm like, I'm good. That's it. That's about as much as I know. And that's another opportunity that I kind of seized, because, man, whether it's the Ultimate Fighter, listen, every time you fight, it's an opportunity for greatness. We know that as fighters. But opportunities in general, man. Dana called me for that show. He goes, look, I'm doing a new show. And he told me the premise. And the premise was going to be a reoccurring fighter each time going with Dana and this and that. So that first episode was the pilot episode. He was going to use me. So I'm like, all right, man. So I had so much fun on that episode. And then towards the end of the episode, we had Evander Holyfield on, right? He's going to be a guest watching us watch a fight. They go, look, man, the Rory, the producer, he's a little Jewish guy with a lisp. He's like, Matt, whatever you do, don't curse in front of him because he's very religious, that kind of shit. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to curse in front of the champ. What am I, an animal? So then, sure enough, it was a guy that was from a guy I knew, his academy, and the ring announcer, their little wannabe Bruce Buffer, was drinking at this table, being like, yeah, heckling me in the stands, like, yeah, we're not letting anybody, some Yankee come down here and do this, and it just started kind of towards me. So I'm going, hey, I'm going into with this guy, hey, dude, go yourself. How about that? Because he's trying to back and forth with me. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'll just get up and I'll smack you. How about that? But, I might have a drink. And then, Evander Holyfield's to my left.
Yeah.
So after the thing was over, right, I go to the producer. I go, hey, man, I'm sorry about that. And he goes, are you kidding me? That was TV gold. He loved it. He loved it. I go, oh, okay. Next thing you know, I'm a recurring guy on the show. So that first episode, my temper actually helped me, Mike.
That's
where
amazing.
Merab got it from. Attacking fans in the
Merab's-
stands. They deserve it.
Merab, they do deserve it, man. Merab is the sweetest. So for somebody to get, but he just doesn't understand like this. He doesn't as a man, he doesn't like disrespect. It's like, dude, you're disrespecting me. don't you understand? I like when he got in that Tim Welch's face. Tim Welch is the Tim, and
Sean
because
O'Malley's coach.
Sean O'Malley's a nice kid, but he still has like a kid's mentality. He's like, well, there's weight classes for a reason, and Merab would eat him in a street fight. I don't give a what that ginger knows. He would eat him up. You know, I'm not a fan of that guy because when they were fighting, he does some dirty. Like he's the guy. Hey, Aljo, you gotta go. Dude. It might not be against the rules, but you're being a little right now. I'm just letting you know. I'm not gonna go. Sean O'Malley, you got it. First of all, they know my bad accent.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'm not gonna fool anybody.
Hey,
but
a dirty trick like that makes the fight game better as a whole.
boo!
Because then it makes
You know what I think?
then
Mike,
it makes
you know what I think of
fighters
that?
prepare for like that they never even thought about themselves.
I would give that a one answer. Boo! Boo! That! Shut up, dude. We're fighting. You're not fighting. And I like when Merab. Mike. I'm sorry. Listen, I like when Merab saw him. He goes, "Hey, you want to go now? Or you want to wait till after the fight?" And then Tim Welch is like, "Hey, all right." Because, dude, I don't know what world they're from. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what their code is, but I know Merab's, and Merab wouldn't be like, "Oh, wait. We're gonna have a street fight. Let's weigh in." And dude, shut the up. I'm sorry. Now he got me I don't know why he got me in a red right now, but I'm having fun.
Well, I saw at CJI. I was like right next to Merab as we're walking out. You hear these hecklers like, I mean, we're on the bottom floor. They got to be 20 rows up, and they're heckling down. And Merab's looking. I'm like, what? And my friend's like, dude, I think Merab's about to go up there. And I was like, bro, Merab will go. Next thing you know, he's hopping over the barrier, pushing past security. He's all the way up 20 flights of stairs, standing there with 3 dudes ready to beef with him. He doesn't take respect. Absolutely. And those 3 guys back down. You better believe it.
He doesn't take disrespect. That's the champion right there, Merab Dvalishvili.
Yes.
Love that guy, man.
I do. Love him, man. Love him. And I'm so happy to see him be a success because, Mike, when he came over, dude, he didn't speak any English at all. You know what's really up? Because he's from Georgia and they have history against Russia. He used to come in and be like, "There's my little Russian." Yeah, I mean, it's the wrong thing to say to him. But he didn't even correct me for a while because
He didn't know.
I didn't mean nothing. I didn't mean nothing by it.
He's
I don't
a
know
good
all the
dude. He knows you didn't mean nothing.
No, man. And then like to see him like have struggles in the beginning to become the machine he is now.
Yeah, did you see someone recently? I just saw a video last night. Some fan dude comes up with a picture of Merab.
Dude, that hurt my feelings.
How long ago was that? Like, yeah, look at this. Look at me look where I've come from to make it to where I am now.
I've seen something recent, not recent, a long time ago. Somebody did that to Rashad Evans also. The picture of him with his eyes back. Fans do that. Like, they do that because somebody's filming them do that. But, I've seen Merab, but why? Merab looked genuinely confused because he's such a nice guy. He's like, why this picture? Like, he was asking him, like, why? He didn't realize he was getting goofed on.
Yeah.
And that makes me more mad than anything. I God forbid if I was there.
It is, but it does show his genuine, true character in that moment, right? In that 30-second clip, because he doesn't want to get mad, but he's also not understanding why this guy wants him to sign this, right? He's like, I'm the champ, and you're trying to, like, what are you doing here? But it just shows character.
He's such a nice. He was just like, why this picture?
A guy paid me once before a fight. I was having a fight, and he brought these pictures for me to sign. He went through my boy Philly Fresh. Philly Fresh got me this guy. The guy gave me like, I don't know, $1,000 to sign these photos, and the pictures of the. He had a couple sentences on some of them that he wanted me to sign. They were like on sticky notes, and it was like there might be a sentence, and some of the pictures were me getting armbarred by Cowboy Cerrone, and he was like, "If you can, would you write, 'You broke my damn arm, Cowboy,' or something?" I'm like, I'm not writing that, but I signed the pictures of Cowboy getting me in armbar.
Hey, man, good. I hope he paid you for that.
I got a question here. When was the last time you got tested, Matt? Because I've been with Mike when people try to test him. But when was the last time you got tested in public besides the 14-year-old girls in the bathroom?
Besides that, I don't. Maybe that time in Vegas.
you had someone in a
When
triangle
you
or
held the
something?
guy down on the floor
Yeah,
until the
that was
police
it.
got there.
Yeah, till security got there. Yeah, I was with my wife. I was with my wife and kids too. That's why you got to stay. And I was going into the Hall of Fame the next day, which is crazy.
Yep.
And I was in Vegas, and I was at the Red Rock Casino, and there was a unruly couple that came in, and it was hysterical in the beginning because at first the big heavyset girlfriend, she was sitting down in the booth, and he puts her hat over her face, and she's like sleeping like Weekend at Bernie's, like. And so first it's funny, like I'm filming a little bit, like look at these people, and then he leaves and he comes back and he was just throwing at waiters and being a real idiot. And then when the waiter's going to bring me my check, he got up, like to him. So I got up, like instinctively I got up. So he turned to me. He's like, "You got a problem?" And Mike Perry, I don't look as dangerous as you and
Took
shit,
him
but I look
down.
kind of dangerous. So it's like for that guy to start with me in front of my family. What if I didn't know how to fight? What if the guy got me down? And I'm like, thank you, everybody. This is my number one reason. I don't point out any of the I did in the cage for people to sign up if they want to come to my school or if they talk to me about doing jujitsu. I point out that fight. I go, look, I don't look like a. This guy gets up and challenges me. He wants to fight me in front of my wife and kids. I mean, this could be a very embarrassing situation for myself if I wasn't a Jedi. So I knew what the I was doing. You know what I mean? So once he took his shirt off, he started taking his shirt off. I just got him around the waist, put him down. I told my sister to film, and then I said to Dana and made a joke about the Fertitta brothers getting better security because they own that hotel. Next thing you know, that on TMZ and it went viral.
Viral. Yeah.
I was, and I didn't have to hurt him, man. I could have easily ended it with a right hand because I had them all lined up, the second I stood up. But I saw the threat was he's a drunk white belt.
Yeah,
Like he was taking him
jiu-jitsu
down.
is not my first go-to. So remember that, fans, if you're out there. It's not my
Yeah, Mike.
first
Yeah, you'd be in
go-to.
trouble. You'd handle that. You would take the Joe Schilling route.
Yeah.
Not quite. I wouldn't quite say Joe Schilling because he's damn no chin, toothless. But
You don't get along with Joe?
no, I don't.
I did not know that.
No, I think he cornered Daniel Rodriguez.
Okay, all right. You've got different camps. I
like
get you.
Daniel. I like Daniel Rodriguez, but Joe
I
Schilling.
got you.
And then I was kind of happy to see Luke Rockhold knock him out. But I would put my face in the zone to get either pushed or touched or something. Like that guy in that bar video,
that fat guy came
he
after you.
clawed my face and came at me. He got my face, and I just went like this. That was it.
Fun.
That was all I did, just one time, and that was it. So I would try to get hit first, and then it's self-defense.
Nah, I got you. Nah, listen, and that's your style, though. I don't feel like getting hit.
It reminds me, didn't Dylan Dennis get in like a scuffle with a security guard or a cop, and the cop put him in a rear naked choke?
Security guard.
I think the guard just started wrapping him up and taking him down, and like Dylan, I don't think
Wasn't really going.
grappling back.
He had him pretty good.
I think it looks like a bouncer move where he jumped on the back or something and he had him in a rear naked choke. It's not like they squared up. I'm sure if they squared up, I mean, Dylan Dennis, he could be a character, but I'm sure he'd handle the guy. You know what I mean?
That brings up a good question, though. I don't know if you guys saw Tristan Tate's comments. Andrew and Tristan have been in the States, obviously, and went to Power Slap. And he was talking about security for the top end guys, like the presidents of countries.
UFC fighters.
And saying these guys would beat, like, no disrespect to Tom Aspinall, but Tom Aspinall would not have a chance against some of these trained killers that are protecting
that hard
state leaders. I'm asking the question.
Wait, we're talking about like bodyguards for like,
but for the top people, like the president of China and President Trump and some of these guys.
I'm sure that's more of a, they're good with their like that. I mean, they're not.
They don't want to get in a bar brawl with me.
Yeah. No, you get any of those guys, like, listen, you drop me in a Navy SEAL in the woods or in the water somewhere, I could be in trouble. But if they want to have a street fight, I'm most likely will break their arm. I'm not, only because that's my profession. Like, you know what I mean? We're professional pugilists, you know? I've been the last 30 years I've been dissecting how to take guys' limbs off. So, you know, I mean, unless we're fighting in VR, I can do well on that.
Call of
But
Duty.
you know, yeah, dude, I love that VR.
But you're saying deep water, dark of night, Navy SEAL probably get you.
Oh yeah, they got those night vision goggles, and I'd be in
That
trouble,
makes sense.
you know. But if they want to drop all the equipment, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's
I mean, who are they? I
hit
don't
the
know.
beach.
Yeah, right.
Matt, just to get a little bit back on today's news,
Yeah, man.
we wanted to ask you about about what do you think about the fight with Alex Pereira and Ankalaev?
I thought it was too close to about, and I'm for Alex. I like Alex a lot. I love Glover Texera is just a solid dude,
Love
you
that
know.
guy, yeah.
That guy is just a huggable guy, a warrior, a really good, solid guy. And Water seeks its own level. So I know with Alex hanging out with him, they seem like a tight group. I like that big manager, the big guy, Pino, the coach. Yeah, I like that whole crew. I like that crew. I have nothing against Ankalaev, you know, but it came down to probably. I remember watching it thinking it came down to the last round, but you know, if it's that close, you can't let him do it again, because I mean Ankalaev, everybody thought, well, what if he, now he's going versus grappler. He didn't get him down,
Yeah, I thought Alex won the 5th round.
yeah, yeah, I mean, but yeah, so it was, but if it comes down to one round, there's been worse robberies. I wouldn't call it a robbery. I'd call maybe a bad decision, but I don't know, but you could make a
But
case
in
for
the
him
old
too.
days, you got to take it from the champ.
Yeah, but is that right though? Because if you go round by round, either you won or lost. I get it. No, I'm with you. I would. It's always better if you knock the champ out cold. But sometimes it goes down to rounds. That's the game we're playing. So who won this round? Who won that round? I remember 2 rounds clear for Ankalaev. I kill names, but and then like I said, I'd have to go if it's. I remember not. I remember listening. I saw Dana's face in the back, like everybody else. Like, all right.
Oh yeah.
The other guy, Ankalaev won. I kind of felt. I don't know any inside shit, but I could tell he kind of wanted,
100%.
Pereira's that guy.
But it's an instant rematch. Like, I mean, instant.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, and it's definitely a winnable fight now.
Where were all the Dagestanis back when you were champion?
Probably in Dagestan.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Still there.
They weren't in that business yet. They were still training. They were just
I guess
training.
so. I didn't. I mean, I think Abib's the first guy to come over. No,
Yeah.
From Dagestan?
Yeah. Notable. Yeah.
we didn't have any Dagestanis and we didn't have any calf kicks. And I'm happy about it.
Back in the day, we had like Matyashenko. It's like one of the only Russians I could think of that came to the UFC. Matyashenko and
Orlovsky. Where's Orlovsky from?
Orlovsky. Yeah, he's from
Fedor?
Russia. Fedor, yeah, but he didn't come to UFC. But Strikeforce Pride, 100%.
Yeah, man.
Krokop, but that's Croatia.
Hey Matt, I want you to check out something for us. So I don't know if you know this, but myself, Mike, and the Kawas from First Round Management started a fight league, and so we did a private show November 22nd, I believe.
MMA show.
Diddy
So
boxing.
it's a new sport called Dirty Boxing Championship. I want you to check this out and give us your feedback. What we
I
did,
thought
is
you
we
knew.
took,
You said I was running a promotion.
what's that?
Who's that? Me?
Maybe Josh said that.
Well, he said you were running a promotion. I said you're doing the podcast.
That's right.
But I heard about you doing the promotion too. But what is dirty
Check
boxing?
it out.
Is it
We're
bare
going to show
knuckle?
you right now.
Let us pull it up and take a
Oh,
look at it.
show me. Oh, okay. Live reaction. It's exciting. I'm just liking the music.
Yeah.
Yo, man. I like. So wait, they're wearing sneakers.
It's boxing with elbows and ground and pound.
And
And 4-ounce gloves.
is there takedowns?
No.
No, only knockdowns
Oh,
from
so if
strikes.
you not wait, hold on. So if you knock them down
You have
with
to knock
punches,
them down. Yes.
you can't throw them down.
No.
That's interesting.
But
No
it's
8
dirty
count.
boxing, so you can break up a little bit of the action by tossing your opponent. It's dirty. You can fight in the clinch. So if you're hitting and you trip or slide or push or whatever, it is usable. But unless you strike to get the knockdown, only then can you ground and pound.
Oh, so they'll stand you back up if you throw them down.
And the ground and pound, you have to have 2 feet planted. So there's no mounting, right? So you can strike down with 2 feet planted until somebody clinches you up and then
2
stand
feet
you back
planted,
up.
no knee. So no knee on belly.
No,
You got to
no.
just.
No. It's really all stand-up striking, elbows. So when we threw our first event, we did it private. Like, we really didn't want any noise around it because we just wanted to look at the rule set, right? We're like, what do we have here? We got in a room, me and Mike and the Kawas got in a room for 5 hours and argued it out, right? And said, what's the
Who's
most
the Kawas?
they own
First round
management.
management.
So they manage John Jones and Mighty Mouse, Ilia, bunch
I
of guys.
just like that you call them the Kawas. It sounds like some kind of. Go ahead.
And so we said, all right, what's the most exciting rule set, right? Because now if you look at things like power slap and other stuff, right? Like the content is so digestible, like quick, you know what I mean? So we 18-foot ring, shorter rounds, 3-minute rounds, 4-ounce gloves. Okay. All striking.
Oh, same as the UFC then, the gloves. The gloves are MMA gloves.
Yeah, but they're rounded. They're rounded more
Okay.
like a boxing glove, so you don't get the eye
Yeah, yeah.
pokes.
Well, you don't got there's no grabbing anyway, so it's closed.
Well, you can grab a little bit.
You can
Yeah.
hold them and you can clench and punch and elbow.
Is it? Are you able to back fist or no?
Yes, spinning back.
There were several spinning back fists. So in the first event, we had 8 fights. We had 5 finishes. Yoel knocked a guy out cold.
I saw that.
Yeah, Yoel knocked
It'll be our main event again, and our co-main event will be Andrei Arlovsky on March 22nd.
Wow, man. Arlovsky used to fight with me back in the day. That he's got some legs.
He's still going.
And he's got a chin. It's funny, man, because there was a certain point you're like, oh, he's got no chin. And then he comes back and he's taking punches. It's like, wait a minute.
The Travis Brown fight, when he got dropped and then he got right back up and knocked out Travis, when Travis was the bro. That
Arlovsky's awesome. Arlovsky's always fun. Hey, man, congrats with that. That's exciting.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
right up your alley, man. Promoter, man.
We'll bring you and Dane out for looking for a fight or something.
Dude, listen, I'm always down for that. That's me hanging out with Dean Thomas, Dana. Dean, who doesn't love Dean Thomas?
We gotta extend the invite to Dean, man. I like Dean. Dean's a good guy. I met him a long time ago when I started MMA.
I remember that. I remember you telling me that, or you telling him that when I was with him.
Yeah, I met him at American Top Team in Longwood, Florida. He was one of the co-owners or something, and he came out one time. I met Dean.
It's funny, man. It's funny how things work out. I fought BJ and I fought Dean, and then I got cut from the UFC because I lost both fights, and they were close. The BJ one, I thought I probably should have won, but it's okay. But it was close. But then the Dean Thomas one was me chasing him around, getting jabbed in the face a lot. He should have won that one, but it was weird because they raised my hand afterwards in the cage. It's never happened before or since. And then backstage, they changed the decision.
What?
So imagine that. That sucked. But anyway, we're buddies now. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just weird the way things turn out. Now he's one of my best friends.
Guy. He's always got good,
solid
very
guy,
charismatic.
Yeah, and he's a good man. You know, he's a good dude.
Yeah, that
I like Dean Thomas is my buddy. You know, it's funny, man. Guys that used to fight. At one point, I was gonna get him. I was gonna attack him in the street. Me and him had some beef.
Icebags was just at the Power Slap in Las Vegas. Have you been to those events yet?
No, I haven't.
You know with that?
You know what? Dana's a good buddy of mine, so I don't want to anything he's doing, but it's not really my cup of tea, you know?
Just watching people get knocked out. You seen a couple of the highlight reels?
I'll watch some of the highlights but it is, I think it's kind of wacky. I think it's, you know, the coin toss is really huge in this one.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
Yes.
In other games, it's like, all right, I lost the coin toss. They got the ball. All right, I lost the coin toss. I hope I don't get dementia.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
You had a hilarious clip. I wish we could pull it up, but you went like viral again last year, being yourself, because you walked into a hotel. I think it was for a Looking for a Fight episode, and Dana was dressed up as like the guy who carries your bags back and forth. And you walk up and go, "Damn, Dana, so it looks like Power Slap didn't work out." And I don't know the last time I saw Dana laugh that hard, bro. That clip is legendary.
You know what's funny about that is Dana used to do that that was one of his jobs. So they didn't tell us that we were shooting in Boston. So they're bringing us to the hotel, and we didn't know he was going to greet us like that. So that popped into my head. I guess that whole power slap thing didn't work out. He's back working up the fucking. Now Dana. This is the thing about Dana. I think he keeps me around because I make him laugh. So after that, every person he had on the phone, he goes, "Listen to what Serra came up with." And he's reliving this. So I'm like, all right. I know I got a few more episodes out of that one-liner, I think. Because I know that thing. Hey, listen, I don't know, man. I try to make myself laugh. But I'm glad that worked out because, I got kids and I could use that show going on.
Yeah, Dana's a good guy, man. He's tough. I think he's been there to watch me fight like probably more than twice, but I think it was 2 times that he was looking for me to get the win, and I did not. Whenever Dana wanted me to win, that's when I did not win.
Oh, man, hey. Yeah, I know he likes your style, though, for sure.
Yeah, man, I like to fight, man. That's what dirty boxing is all about. We're all about the just action, non-stop action. Refs don't got to get involved. Just scrap it out. No grappling and kicking to slow it down. It's our idea. Obviously, UFC is the king in combat sports. Everyone watches every weekend. And we're just, we just want to bring some entertainment to people. And
that's it, man. There's enough room for that.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
and it's different enough, man. It's different enough to get maybe a new audience. The same audience with that, and then people that just like, all right, man. I don't like when they go to the ground so much, and when they do, I don't like when they're sitting there wrestling each other. Yeah, I like that.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah. I'm more of a casual fan. I mean, I watch all the UFC events and I respect it, but I want to watch people stand and bang. Right? There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, listen, most people are like that. Me, it's funny because I'm a jiu-jitsu guy at heart, but dude, I don't watch a lot of the grappling events at all. I like my jiu-jitsu used in the cage. I like watching Damian Maia fighting Ben Askren. I like Jake Shields fighting anybody. I like them utilizing their jiu-jitsu with another trained guy and they're making it work. You know what I mean? Or that's what I like it because that's where it really counts. Like I don't like when the guys just sit in the Indian stands and they're interlocking the legs. I was going for legs before it was cool. When I was in the UFC, man, I pulled guard with Eve Edwards because he had me in a tie clinch about to rearrange my face, and I got around his leg, punched his face a few times, threatened that heel, and got on top. So I go for that Ashigarami attack, that leg lock. I used it at least 3 times in the UFC, and I never got up really on bottom. I'd always be clean, and I got that way by attacking the limbs, trying to break them. And when they try to get out, I use it to get on top positionally. Guys don't give a about positioning now in jiu-jitsu because then they can make money off it with these tournaments. But the one thing they're forgetting, as far as using it, could be more cooler ways to get into leg locks and different ways to break limbs. But if they don't understand distance management and the fact that all right, this is a cool way to invert into this, but getting into this, you can get up. And that's why I like seeing the jiu-jitsu used in the cage.
Of course. I mean, you make a jiu-jitsu sound exciting. Not a lot of people make it sound that exciting.
Dude, that's all I do. I start my classes off sometimes. Look, we're going to start this off with a little, sometimes I do something for the untrained guy. A guy just comes up and puts you in a headlock, how to take him down and break his arm. I go, look, guys, I'd love for you guys. I tell my school, I'd love for you guys to go into tournaments and win some medals, but I don't want you to end up on World Star Hip Hop as a victim. So we're going to start off by first just angling that body, making sure our distance is good. We're getting him down. We're going to finish him the same way as if I'd finish you getting ready for a Naga, but we're just going to keep these things in mind. Even when I'm going for legs, I'm going for a leg on bottom, I'm always offsetting their balance. By the time they catch their balance, I'm already on that leg. You understand? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's little things now that, even though jiu-jitsu is evolving, don't forget about why we originally started
The
this shit.
basics.
Yeah, man, I'm a fundamentals freak.
Where are you from, Matt? You from New York, Staten Island?
I'm from Long Island.
Long Island. Sorry.
Yeah, it's another
What's
island.
the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah, Staten Island, Long Island. What's the difference?
Well, I mean, Staten Island has the Staten Island dump. I mean, what do they got? I think it's, you probably meet some similar people, bad accents and all, some good Italian food. I don't spend too much time in Staten Island. It's not my place.
So are you Mets or Yankees?
I'm neither. I don't watch anything with a ball. Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I always felt a little bit more like a misfit when my father was never really into sports. I used to play with my friends like football, but I never really did anything. I never watched any baseball games. I was never in Little League. I was doing Kung Fu with my father, watching Bruce Lee, Kung Fu theater. I was always into the martial arts, but I never was into anything. I don't know who the Super Bowl or give a
Really?
If there's a Super Bowl party, there better be good food there or I ain't coming. It bores the out of me. I went to the WWE last night with my family. And, my buddy, Karrion Cross, he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Guy Kevin, sweetheart of a guy, badass too. Came down my school. He's one of those WWE guys that he could really fight. The guy's a legit brown belt beast. He gave me some tickets, so I went, I appreciate front row. And I could tell that people live in this world, that everybody's so into it. And the crowd was a nice crowd. It wasn't a mean crowd. It was similar to a Comic-Con crowd. I like that. I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's, they're doing the chants. What the I don't know what they're yelling, but everybody's doing this. And I'm looking at my wife and kids like, this is wild. I'm like, all right, had enough. I got out of there probably before it ended because I had to get back. We had to get the Long Island Railroad back, and I don't want to be stuck in. And it just, I love the enthusiasm. Like I don't want to on anybody with it. People that love sports, I don't on it, but I like to hear why they love it. Like like the WWE people, they loved it. And I love that they were so into it. But I got ADD, bro. It just doesn't keep my attention span. Like I know they're not really hitting each other. I know it's a soap opera. I know it's like a TV show. And grown men like it and people like it. I still like the comic book movies. I can't make fun of nobody.
But you watch the fights religiously.
All I do is, dude, when there's fights on the UFC Saturday night, man, when there's not, I feel like lost. I love my Saturdays, dude. I do a 9 a.m. class, a mixed class. Usually, it's like a seminar Saturday. I got at least 50 people on the mat. And then I know the rest of the day. After I do that, I'm like, all right, I made 50 people happy, more dangerous. Now I get to just relax, chill, take a little nap, and now get ready for those fights. Go out by my fire in the backyard a little bit, little pre-warm-up, get inside, let's go.
Amen.
That's what I like to do, Mike. I'm a simple man. A little VR and a fight I don't want to watch, I'll put on my VR.
You ever catch some of the boxing?
Uh,
Did you see Tank
no.
versus Roach? No.
Nah, I'm not really into it that much.
See, I like Tank. Tank's he's usually a fun fighter to watch.
Tank Abbott?
No.
Oh, dude, imagine.
Gervonta Tank Davis.
Man, I'd be lost with all the guys that are fighting now. I watched the back in the day with Vander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. Again, I'm older, but nowadays, ever since the UFC came out, mixed martial arts, that's all I watch.
Yeah.
I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, dude. I don't even watch jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Who are the guys right now in the game that you get really excited about? Any weight class, doesn't matter.
I mean, there's just so many. I mean, obviously, I got the guys that my guys. Even if I'm not in that corner, I'm always in that corner in life. And Aljo, how about Aljo not getting enough respect for going up a weight division
100%.
and taking out Calvin Kattar, who's a stud, and he made it look kind of easy. And then he went in a fight where I think he should have won with that Movsar, whatever.
Movsar, Evloev, yeah.
That was
That
close.
was a close fight, man. That guy's the guy who's supposed to be going for the title. Aljo's second fight in that division arguably won the fight. So I can't say enough.
Yeah, he had
Merab,
more control time, more back time.
yeah, man. Aljo's a phenomenal fighter. I mean, how do you not love Merab? You know, I'm naming obviously all my guys, but you name a card, it's hard for me to even just go. It's like so many guys, man. I mean,
All right. What do you think about like Ilia Topuria, especially moving up to 155?
I think it's going to be interesting to see him at 155. I would have liked to see him at 145 a little bit more because I feel like he had some big wins, obviously with Volkanovski and Max Holloway, but I think it might be a little premature to go up. Not that he couldn't do it. I'm sure he could do it, but why not be a savage and clear out that division even more? You got Diego Lopez. You got other guys down there that are dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I would have liked to see him fight there
Do
a
you
little
think
more, but
Diego Lopez gets through Volk easily?
I don't know where Volk's at now, you know, because, you know, you might think a guy, that's his last fight, but he might have just got caught, you know. Well, then he got, listen, you don't want to see a guy put, yeah, I was just about to say, I forgot about that. Yeah, you know, anytime a guy's lights go out, I mean, you just saw Justin Gaethje have a great performance, and before that, he was twitching face down, you know. So you don't know, is it a couple of bad nights for Volk versus two killers, or you know, a couple bad nights in the office and he still has it. I don't know, you know, is it the one who fought Max Holloway 3 times or is it a guy now that's a little less? That's the question, you know. So as far as Diego going through him, I don't know. There's a lot. That's up to Volk as far as where he's at now. Where he's at, you know.
Can we go back to Merab real quick?
It's not
Because
good where he's at. He's singing. He's singing
He's
something
singing?
about getting knocked down. He was at the press conference singing
he was
to Diego
making fun of
Lopez,
his hair. Yeah.
calling him a
I like to sing.
green
Ride
face.
with the mob, Alhamdulillah, check in with me and do your job. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
Go ahead, guys. That's Plain Jane by ASAP Ferg. In case you wanna, it's a good song.
Oh, we know the flow. We know the flow.
Oh, it gets my nipples hard. When I get guys training, I don't have your traditional jiu-jitsu
Hang on.
school.
I thought that was 3-6 Mafia.
I blast that shit. No, that's ASAP Ferg.
Oh, they stole the beat then from 3-6
They
Mafia.
probably stole it. I think so, yeah.
Ride with the mob, Alhamdulillah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. What are we up to?
Let me ask you about Merab real quick. Okay, so Aljo kind of fights more like you, you know, with the BJJ heavy. You know, he can fight off his back like anyone, he backpack people. Merab's game plan is more like wrestling dominant. How do you contribute to his? And then, like, where do you hold him? Is he the best wrestler we have in the UFC right now? And also, is there anything you can tell us about, like, something you've experienced, why his cardio is so crazy in the gym? Like, what the is it? He's clearly just built different, but his cardio is insane. And how does your coaching style help him out with his wrestling dominant style?
Well, when he came to me, he came from a Sambo background. And what happened with Merab was on top, he was always a bit of a beast, but, you know, he had trouble getting out. Like when he came to us, he was having trouble getting, you know, he lost the fight by not getting out of mount, getting controlled with the jiu-jitsu and the better wrestlers. You know, we got it. See, I don't care where he goes now, who corners him, whatever else. We know where the machine was built. It was built over at Serra On, and that is just the way it is. He came over with a raw talent with the Sambo, and he was scrappy standing. He always had the conditioning, always. But if you don't have the tools to get out of a position, you're not going anywhere. So on the local circuit, he got like a blue belt or purple belt mounted on him, and he was having some hard times. But he was we have a nice simple recipe before, you know, when the Serra Longo team, they're over at for the most part doing their hard sparring at Longo's. I'd have these guys 2 or 3 days a week with me. With a lot of my guys that will never take a punch, but they're all assassins on the floor. So these guys are getting world class guys on the world stage in jiu-jitsu, attacking their limbs. They're getting the proper work with Longo with the striking. We have a very good recipe. So Merab, I spent a lot of work with Merab, even personally grappling with him. Just bad positions. And now, fast forward, you got an Olympian not holding him down. As far as you know what I mean. So
Fire carrying him around too.
yeah, man, we had to really just work on his technique and but he always had the heart, always had the cardio, and he'd always put the work. And there's a difference between a guy where you got to pull teeth to get him to do some cardio or anything, and there's another guy that just naturally loves it. I never seen anything like Merab as far as with the sparring, and as far as the wrestling goes. There's times where there was one kid that they'd wrestle, just straight wrestling, and the kid would be better than him. I forgot where he's from, one of those crazy countries, right? But and then Longo's like, yeah, watch when they spar, dude. Merab was getting him down like crazy. There's wrestling and then there's MMA wrestling. Merab's timing he's not afraid. Some guys are afraid to shoot because it's exhausting if they don't get it. Dude, he'll shoot 10 times. He'll make you sprawl 10. He'll get you on the 11th or 12th when you're dying. And his gas tank doesn't get. His timing on his entries, the way he mixes it up with his strikes, his MMA wrestling is just, it's at the highest level.
Championship.
It's at the highest level. And it's just his work effort, the way he just approaches every day. He just loves to train, man. He doesn't have any vices either, except for maybe chicks.
Yeah.
And to see a guy like that come over, again, not speak a lick of English, and to now watching him, he goes home to Georgia with a chariot's next to him. Dude, it's like a movie. It's like and just to be part of that, I'm happy to be a part of that. So, and again, when guys come to you, how are they when they leave you? Are they better off? Look at them now. So I have nothing but love for Merab, and I'm so happy. I just had lunch with him and Aljo when I was in Vegas over the weekend, and they got houses right next to each other. And these are guys that they both became world champions. The organization at one point was kind of like, hey, man, I know you're buddies, but you'll be fools if you don't fight. They said, and how many guys would do that? How many guys would say, all right, you got all the luxuries of life right in front of you. You can just grab it if you fight your best friend. And he said, you know what? I'm not doing it. And it still worked out for him. So it's great the way things worked out. I could not be happier for those guys.
Touching.
Where do you rank your knockout of GSP and in all-time knockouts? Is there any funny stories you've never said about either after you accomplished that or right before?
I think everybody. I mean, listen. The reason why I'm going to say the reason why it's such a huge deal is because everybody thought I was going to get my ass kicked, which is understandable. Because before that fight, I used to always be using my strikes. Even if you saw me on The Ultimate Fighter, I wasn't laying into Shoney. I should have. We go back to like my whole journey of I started like a scrappy street fighting kid. I fought in a tough man contest when I was 18 years old. Got my jaw busted back. I fought with a busted jaw in that third one. I won 2 fights. It was all heavyweight, 175 and up. I never even sparred a day in my life. My buddy Jim McCluskey goes, hey, look, stand sideways. You're less of a target. And I'd go in there throwing soup bones. So I knew I had power, but I was a street fighting kid. And then I went with the Gracies where they're like, look. Henzo was a little bit more lenient with the punches and stuff, but their philosophy was don't ever strike with don't ever exchange. Just get the distance, get him down, and then you dish out the punishment. So I had to rethink the way I had to get out of the barbarian mindset so I became a master of closing that distance and getting guys down, and that's the way I fought. And then I almost had to unlearn that with Longo and say, no, man, you have to sometimes, to hurt somebody, you might be there to be hurt. But we have to work that out. So I had to get on the job training with my stand up, man. And I didn't really believe in it until I was forced to. And I'm like, look, man, I got George St-Pierre. He's fighting better wrestlers than me. You name it. Matt Hughes, Sean Shirk, even Frank Trigg. These guys are better straight up wrestlers. Wait, did he fight Trigg? He probably did.
Yeah.
If he won, did he up Trigg? He a lot of guys. Anyway, if I had to try to get this guy down and keep him down and hold him down in 5 rounds, I'm going to get tired. He's going to pick me apart. I knew I had heavy hands, so I knew going in there, I had a me or him attitude. It was like one of us is not going to make it out. And that was very freeing for me. That was a very freeing feeling where before that in The Ultimate Fighter, I'm like, look, man, I just got engaged. If I don't win this finale with Chris Lytle, my wife's got to be a school teacher. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what it was. I'm like, so I go, so me and Chris Lytle that first fight was very safe. And then I won, and I'm like, all right, now I'm going to let Sean go. I have one shot at the title. I remember there was a fight with Tim Sylvia versus Jeff Munson. Jeff Munson, the short, stocky grappler, Tim Silva, the striker. And it was him shooting from across the cage. He made it through. It was one of the worst fights in UFC history. I go, look, I'm not going out like that. If I either go out on my shield or I have my glory. And I got my glory. So that's why it is my Rocky movie. And like I tell everybody, go watch the rematch. It's overrated.
Do you ever wish you won that first fight and then you said, I'm retiring as the champ. I'm done.
No, because again, I do. I was
As a
married.
man, you
I
had to
got
go back
kids.
for that next paycheck and fight GSP in the rematch.
Yes, in his backyard in Montreal with chants of you Serra, where I couldn't even hear my corner. It was a night, but I wouldn't change a goddamn
Where
thing.
did you win at? You won at
I
MSG?
won. No, I won in Houston, Texas,
Ah.
and then I lost in Montreal,
Oh, I thought
which
it was in
was
Canada you won.
rough. No, Canada, I lost, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Did you
I
ever
wouldn't,
fight
man.
at MSG?
No, but what's cool about that is my daughter just had on an MMA card. My daughter just had there was one grappling match. I know the promoter. I used to fight for him back in the day, Lou Negli out of Brooklyn. And I got my daughter on there. She was 15 years old versus another jiu-jitsu girl. She had a jiu-jitsu match at Madison Square Garden on an MMA card. The only jiu-jitsu match on there that started off. And she won. It was awesome.
Nice.
So I got my whole family training, man.
That's what's
You know,
up,
my
man.
wife actually has a fight coming up. When I won the title, my wife was like Adrian. She looked like Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny, but she was like the personality. She liked the personality of Adrian, but less not like she was, So she never threw a punch, and then she would lose weight between my girls, having my kids with kickboxing, and now she's 3-1 as a kickboxer, and she's 1-0 as an amateur MMA. She had an MMA fight at 40. She beat a purple belt girl's butt. And it's cool, man. It's cool. My whole family trains.
All right. But what is your hope for your girls? Because as a fighter, you did this, right? So that nobody else would have to do this.
Yeah.
For a career, right? So what is your hope long term for them?
The problem is my firstborn is very good and very natural, and she loves it. So she's showing, she's the one that's competing. She's winning the jiu-jitsu tournaments and everything, and she's good with the, my wife she's good on the pads too. She's showing a desire to go, to the family business. She's so good in jiu-jitsu, I kind of am leading her to be like, look, you can do this without taking a punch, but I'm not gonna have her do power slap, but I'm gonna have her if she wants to do if she wants to do if she wants to go this route, I'm gonna be supportive. You know what I mean? Because I know she'll be trained right. And I remember coming home after my second Chris Lytle fight with my face all. But I wanted to keep the sunglasses on because I still have a nice scar here from a headbutt by accident. 50 stitches right here, and I was all cut up. And I remember she saw me with my glasses up, and she wanted to kiss my boo boos. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. You don't want to see your kid all scarred up, but I'm not gonna be one to step in front of her dreams if it's in her blood.
That's the thing, right? It's a fine line. It's like we as men, we work and we do what we do so that our kids don't have to do the that we had to do, right? But at the same time, you don't want to squash their dreams. So it's a fine line there.
Yeah, and it's not like she's, starting hands or anything. She wants to be a fighter.
I don't mean to keep bringing it back to GSP, but I found something super interesting, and you're so unfiltered, your podcast. I want your unfiltered raw thoughts when I think it was GSP that told you that after you defeated him, he's always been known for using sports psychologists and looking into the way he carried a brick around in his gym bag that said, Matt Serra on it for weeks.
Yeah.
What did that make you think? You had the best pound for pound fighter in the world, carrying around a brick with your name on it to remind him every day.
Yeah, no, I was in his head for sure, man. I mean, George had a lot thrown at him. He was 25 years old. I was 32. He had so much pressure on him, So, hey, man, I would say get a shrink because that works. You saw the rematch. Didn't work out. If I would have kicked his ass in the rematch, I would have said,
I want to
take
put
that.
a brick in my bag.
Do you think he still has the brick?
No, that's in the bottom of it. He threw it in a lake.
So so he completed the cycle by got this. Okay,
Yeah, man. That shrink deserves a bonus
Nobel
check or some
Prize,
shit.
yeah. Hall of Fame.
I should go find that.
Matt, man, I want to thank you for coming on, bro. It's my mother's birthday. I'm about to take her to dinner and
You know,
stuff like
it's so
that.
great, man. It's 5:30 at 6 o'clock. I got my wife sparring, so this works out perfect. I got to get to that, the family business. Guys, man, I appreciate you having me on. And ask your buddy, ask the producer, Gary, man. He hit me up. And I go, hey, man, I got a hard out in an hour, man. I'm sorry. I got somewhere to be. And I didn't read the text. I thought it was another podcast. Tell him what I wrote again. I go, this is Mike's podcast. I go, do it as long as you want.
Oh,
Just
hell
so
yeah.
you know.
Man, we appreciate your time so much. You're a legend, Matt. Serra.
Dude, hey,
Do
listen.
me a favor. Tell Dana I said what's up, man. Hope to see him again.
I sure will, man. And I'm glad to see you doing so well. You know what I mean? You came into the sport like a savage, and
I'm
you
still
know
in it.
it's all about the choice. Listen. You are a savage,
I'm
but
still in it.
you're making the right choices, man. And I think it's a lot by the people you're putting around you, and of course your family. These guys seem like swell gentlemen. I like that kid Gary. Mike, you're doing great, man. You're gonna be a
Thank you
success
so
even
much,
more.
brother. God bless, man. I really appreciate you, and I'll hit you up if I'm ever going to New York.
If you're ever in New York, I want you in studio. For all your people, check out the Matt Serra channel on YouTube. I do my own thing. I
Stop by
also
the
do UFC
gym
Unfiltered.
too.
Dude, come down,
Yeah,
man.
man, for
Come
sure.
down. We'll do some. We'll get some Kimuras in.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sparring you, man. I'm done with that. Cut it out, Mike. Cut it out. Go ask for Darren Till and those. Listen, a spa? I thought you wanted a spa. I don't know. I
Thank
like a
you, brother.
spa. I do esteem. Hey, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt. You're a legend, man.
Nah, you, man. Appreciate you.
Guys, take care, guys.
Sorry, guys, had to cut it. I'm about to take my mom to dinner. It's her birthday. She's 39 again.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, happy birthday, Miss Perry.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's funny.
I love your mom, by the way. She's the sweetest.
Oh, thanks.
She is.
Not to me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
She's
just funny.
super nice to me all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Don't tell your wife.
Hit follow on socials because we need some subs on this channel. Check us out on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of them, man. Twitter, Instagram. Throw followers on all of our channels.
You nothing, bro. Just click subscribe. Follow Overdogs podcast. Follow Dirty Boxing. The fights of Dirty Boxing are about to be incredible, exciting. Just gonna blow the doors off the building. Really, truly, the doors are gonna be blown wide open at the hangar. Count on it.
Let's go. Let's
That's
fucking
right.
go, Mike. All right, Overdogs, we out.
boys, another good one. Love y'all.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. That was a banger.